Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha Teacher. Children, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, isn't it? Because of that, we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean that we are going to stop learning. We are going to meet here regularly through the virtual training center to learn many lessons in EVS. So come on, let's go to a lesson in EVS. Come on children, let us continue what we were doing last time. So you remember we were doing the lesson in EVS 2 for standard 4th last time. And are you able to remember the name of the lesson? Do you recollect what the lesson was? It was lesson number 7, Swaraj, First Conquest. Okay, so we had talked about how Shivaji Maharaj set out in order to establish Swaraj in Maharashtra, what all efforts he took and what all problems he had to face. So we saw half of that lesson in the previous video. Okay, today let us move on and do the remaining half of the lesson. So this will be part 2 of the lesson, Swaraj, First Conquest. Now we will go to this part of the video, this part of the lesson, after taking a quick look at the important points that we discussed last time. Alright, and then we will move on and we will cover the remaining points in the lesson for today. So if you see and talk about revising what we did last time, the more important points that we talked about were how Shivaji Maharaj and his comrades or his friends, the Mavlas, they took the oath of Swaraj in the temple of Raireshwar. Okay, so they went there to seek the blessings of Lord Shiva, and they decided that now they are going to make Maharashtra their own country. So there will be Swaraj in Maharashtra. So all the foreign rulers who were there would no longer have a place in Maharashtra. So this was the decision that they took. But was this decision an easy one? Not at all. It was a very, very difficult one. And why was it difficult? Because in those days, Maharashtra was governed by 4 different powers. So we had the Mughal Emperor of Delhi. Then there was Sultan Adil Shah of Bijapur. Then there were the Portuguese who had come from Portugal and settled in Goa. They also were trying to take some parts of Maharashtra under their control. And there was the Siddhis of Janjira. Now all these people, they were many enemies. It was not just one enemy that Shivaji Maharaj had to tackle. They were not only many enemies, but at the same time, they were also very powerful opponents. They were very, very powerful. They had a lot of authority, and the people were terrorized by them. The people would never think about speaking back against them. Okay, so this was a difficult task that Shivaji Maharaj had. But nevertheless, he knew that they were powerful, but nevertheless, he thought that he has to make these people somehow weak. So once he would weaken these people and he would become strong, and then he would realize his dream of establishing Swaraj in Maharashtra. But remember, at the same time, you will also see that the Shivaji Maharaj was not very, you can say, senior, okay? He was a very young person at that time. Then he took a decision that somehow he has to capture forts. Okay, and we also saw that Shivaji controlled the Jagirs of Pune, Supe, Chakan and Indapur, and along with these Jagirs that they had, there were many forts also in and around those places. But all these forts were ruled by or were under the control of Adil Shah. So he realized that if he has to establish Swaraj in Maharashtra, then he will have to bring these forts under control. And the first fort which Shivaji lay his eyes on was the Torna fort. Now why did he select the Torna fort? That also we saw many different reasons, okay? We saw that it was a very strategic fort, it was a hill fort, and there were many machis. There were 2 machis, that is a Zunjar machi and the Budla machi. Now what is a machi? A machi is a kind of a place which is used in order to fortify the fort. Okay, and then we saw that he went there and he captured this particular fort, that is a Torna fort. He captured it, he brought it under his control, and also he set up the administrative setup for that particular fort. So he had people from all the different communities, like for example he had a Killedar or the fort keeper who was a Maratha, then there was a Sabnis who was a Brahmin, then there was a treasurer who was a Prabhu, and so on and so forth. So we saw that in Swaraj, all castes and communities were to be treated alike, and no distinctions would be made on the basis of caste. So we saw this, and then we also saw how goddess Bhavani blessed Shivaji. So as the fort was taken under control, they had to do some repairs also, because remember I told you that Adil Shah used to neglect this fort. So as the repairs to the fort started, there was a very big surprise which awaited the people who were digging. Why? They found 4 metal pots which were filled to the brim with mohars. Mohars means gold coins. Okay, so what did they do? Did they use it for their own benefit? No, they went and they handed it all over to Shivaji Maharaj. And Shivaji Maharaj utilized part of the treasure found in the fort to purchase arms and ammunition. And the rest he decided that he would use for another project which was already in his mind, about 15 kilometers to the east of Torana in the hill of Murumdev. So now, after Prachandagad, it was Murumdev that he had his eye on. And remember, this Murumdev was also an Adil Shahi fort. So this is how Shivaji Maharaj decided that he will use up the money or the gold coins or the treasure which he got from Torana, and he also considered it as a blessing from goddess Bhavani. Okay, so now let us talk about the first capital of the Swaraj. How was the first capital of Swaraj established? So let us see. So you all know that he had his eyes set on Murumdev, and this particular fort was partially completed. That is, Adil Shah had started constructing the fort on this hill, but he had left it unfinished. That is, he was negligent. Okay, he would start something and then he would just let it go. And this particular fort also, like Torana, it was not well guarded. There were no guards, there was no arms, ammunition on the fort. So Shivaji Maharaj decided to capture it. So one day, Shivaji Maharaj climbed up the hill with a select band of his followers and took possession of the partially completed fort. Okay, so the fort was not completed yet, so Shivaji Maharaj would have had to work on it. He would have to complete the fort, but then he had the money also. How? He decided to use the money or to use the treasure which he had found on the Torana to complete the fortifications of Murumdev. Okay, and thus Shivaji Maharaj named this fort Rajgarh. Alright, what was the name of the fort? Rajgarh. Raj means rule and Garh means fort. And there were stone masons, there were carpenters, there were blacksmiths, water carriers, and all other people who were engaged by Shivaji Maharaj in order to complete the work of this particular fort. And very soon, what they did was they started building the fort and they started fortifying the fort, and they built Raj Mahal. Raj Mahal means the palace in which the king lives. So there was a Raj Mahal which was built, there was a Bara Mahal which was built, and there were 18 workshops also which were built inside the fort. And therefore, Rajgarh became the first capital of Swaraj. Okay, so Shivaji Maharaj made Rajgarh his first capital. So if you are asked which is the first capital of Shivaji Maharaj's Swaraj, it is Rajgarh. But which was the first fort which he captured? It was Torana. Alright, now let us talk about how Shivaji rapidly progressed in this work of establishment of Swaraj. So now he had captured one fort, then he captured the second one, he made it his capital, and he made the fort strong also, and then he started moving swiftly and he started capturing one fort after another in the Mawal region. So the whole country, which was known as the Bara Mawal, that is the 12 Mawal regions, was overflowing with joy and excitement. The people were very, very happy, okay, because they were really tired of living under the tyrannical rule of the foreigners. So when their own person one among them, when he became the ruler, they were very happy. People were overjoyed. Okay, and everyone, that is the Patils and the Deshmukhs from many villages, they came and they swore allegiance to Shivaji. That is, allegiance means they told Shivaji Maharaj that we are going to support you. But remember, all good things do not keep happening. Always there are some things which are not very good also which happens with you. In the same way, now see, Shivaji Maharaj wanted to establish Swaraj for the betterment of his own people. He was not doing it for his own personal benefit. But even then, there were many people in the Mawal region who were jealous of all the good work that Shivaji Maharaj was doing. But Mawal had its own share of black legs who were ever ready to put a spoke in the fast moving wheel of Swaraj. So now the work of Swaraj was progressing rapidly and the wheel was moving rapidly, but these black legs means the people who are jealous. Okay, and when a wheel is rotating and when you put something, you put a stick or a spoke into the wheel, what happens? The wheel stops or the wheel becomes slow. So what these people did, they also tried to put a spoke in the fast moving wheel of Swaraj. And how did they do it? They went and complained. Okay, and why did they complain? They complained because they were jealous of Shivaji's success. So what did they do? They went to a place called Shirwal and they complained to the Adil Shahi collector. Now the Adil Shah had appointed officers all over the Jagirs in Maharashtra in order to control the place. So there was one such person at Shirwal who was a collector. Now a collector is a person who collects maybe taxes at that time. Okay, and they complained to this person. Now what would he do? He must have gone and complained to Adil Shah at Bijapur, and the collector dispatched messengers to Bijapur. That time there were no phones, there was no telephone, there was no internet, there was no WhatsApp. So they sent messengers to Bijapur and they informed Adil Shah of Shivaji's rapid progress. Now what do you think? As soon as the Adil Shah must have come to know about Shivaji's progress, do you think he became very happy? Do you think that he was very satisfied that Shivaji is capturing his forts? Of course not. And he would have taken some kind of action against Shivaji Maharaj, because Shivaji Maharaj's father, Shahaji Raje, was still working for Adil Shah. But Shivaji foiled all of Adil Shah's plans. Okay, and he behaved like a very shrewd politician. Now who is a shrewd person? A shrewd person is a very smart person, a person who knows how to handle situations. Okay, so what did Shivaji Maharaj do and how did he calm down Adil Shah, who had got angry? Let us see. So now see Adil Shah's face. He looks very angry, isn't it? And he called Shivaji Maharaj's father Shahaji. So Adil Shah was most surprised to get the news. He asked Shahaji Raje for an explanation. He said, how come you are not knowing what your son is doing? So what is your son doing? Your son is capturing all of my forts. Okay, he captured Torna first and then he captured Murumdev and he called it Rajgarh and he has made it his capital. So he told Shahaji, remember, you are still under my rule. Okay, and I am not going to tolerate it that you take your own decisions. You tell your son that. He told Shahaji. Now Shahaji also was surprised. Alright, now he had to get himself out of this difficult situation. So what did Shahaji tell Adil Shah? He said, Sultan, Shivaji took charge of the forts to ensure better administration. So he said, Shahaji Raje, he got himself out of that difficult situation by telling the Sultan that Shivaji Raje had probably taken over the fort for better administration of the Jagir. So he said that he does not have any intentions of taking over your Jagir. He has done it only so that he can have better administration. He can look after your Jagir in a better manner. Okay, and then you will see that Shivaji also sent this message to the Sultan. So see how smart, how shrewd Shivaji was. He sent this message to the Sultan. He said, I have taken possession of the fort for better administration of the countryside. We did this only in the interest of the Sultan. There was no evil design at the back of this action. He said, I do not have any bad intentions. I do not wish to topple down your rule also. I have done this only so that I can look after your people in a better way. And so he sent a letter of this sort. Alright. And then the Sultan was convinced. So the two forts of Kondana and Purandar too had strategic locations. Now there were two more forts there. Okay, now look at the image here. So that you can see 4 forts, out of which Torna was under the rule of Shivaji Maharaj now, and Murumdev also was called Rajgarh. Torna he had renamed it and he had called it Prachandgarh, and Murumdev was Rajgarh. But there were 2 other forts too, which were very strategic in their locations. Strategic means they had very you can say unique locations, very useful locations, and Shivaji used his political skill and took control of both those forts as well. So the next fort to come under his sway was Rohida. So this is the way he slowly started taking one fort after another in his control. This was fast work indeed, and there was nothing that could stop Shivaji now. So he was continuously, rapidly, he was working towards achievement of Swaraj. Okay, so this was a story of how Shivaji Maharaj worked towards achieving Swaraj. So children, now that we have finished looking at the entire lesson, and now we know how Shivaji Maharaj started his efforts towards establishment of Swaraj by actually capturing the forts. Okay, and the first one was Torna. Now children, since we have completed the video and we have completed understanding what all points are there in this lesson, let us try and solve a few small questions, that is the objective questions, the fill in the blanks which are there as part of this lesson. There are certain bigger questions also which you will have to answer, like for example answer in one sentence or give reasons, but that you can do it on your own. Okay, you can look at the video and try to arrive at the answers on your own. Let us now try to solve a simple question, that is a question based on fill in the blanks. Alright, so now let us look at the first one. Shivaji controlled the Jagir of Pune, Supe, Chakan and what? Was it Indapur, Saswad or Velhe? So which was the Jagir, or which was a part of the Jagir which was controlled by Shivaji? Yes, it was Indapur. We also saw it on the map, isn't it, in the video. Look at the second question. Shivaji decided to capture the fort of Dash and lay the foundation of Hindvi Swaraj. So which was the fort that he decided to capture? Was it Sinhagad, was it Shivaneri or the Torna? So which was the fort which he decided to capture first? He decided to capture the fort of Torna first. And finally we come to the last question or last fill in the blank, which says Dash became the first capital of Swaraj. So was it Rajgarh, Raigad or Pratapgarh? Which was the first capital of the Swaraj? It was Rajgarh. It was Murumdev, which was later renamed as Rajgarh by Shivaji Maharaj. Okay children, so this was lesson number 7, First Conquest. Now after you finish watching the entire video, I have a few tasks for you towards the end of the video. Okay, so let us see what those tasks are going to be. So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned. or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learnt a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.